I have waited a long time to do a proper review of this brand new Jeep Cherokee off-road here in beautiful Colorado. What we want is an ideal Colorado review, and we've got it today. We've got wind, we've got snow, we've got everything except, of course, for the fact that there's a controversy about this car, and that is the looks. And Nathan says that he's figured out a way to solve it. What you got, Nathan?
Yes, I did. Look at this. For all you guys who are really mad about the fact that this is known as the Cherokee, I have it for you. All better. All better. Look at that. Square. You guys are going to be happy, right?
Coming up next on the Fast Lane Car, the brand new Cherokee Off-Road Colorado review.
Look at this. Well, you can't see it under here, but there is a V6 that's 3.2 liters and puts out 271 horsepower and 239 pound-feet of torque. It is hooked up to a 9-speed automatic transmission. I kid you not. But more importantly, it's also hooked up to an off-road system that actually makes this vehicle off-road worthy.
All right, let's get to the controversial part. Style. From the back, to me, it looks like a Kia Sportage. From the side here, well, this could be any number of mid-size crossovers, but from the front is where it gets really interesting. It has what looks like an alien front end on it. Here's something interesting. These are the LED running lights. Over here are the headlights. For all you Jeep purists, you still have the 7-slotted grille, so there is Jeep DNA in this, but love it or hate it, it is certainly different, and to my eyes, I think it looks cool.
The Jeep Cherokee comes in a couple different flavors. This particular one is the Trailhawk, which is specifically built to go off-road, and I'll show you why. Because in the back, starting here, you have 32 degrees of departure angle, not too bad. 8.7 inches of ground clearance. You have these fantastic Firestone Destination AT off-road tires. They're very grippy off-road. And you come over here, you look at the front, these hooks, they are very capable. They can hold over 4,000 pounds a piece in terms of strength to be pulled out, or in this case, this thing pulling things out of the mud. A lot of you know, and if you don't, you're going to find out, that this vehicle is based on the same platform they used for the Dodge Dart. The Dodge Dart has a wonderful interior, and guess what? So does this. They've done a fantastic job with putting quality materials everywhere you would touch, including dials. Okay, so that's great. Seats, fantastic, and they're heated. Steering wheel, heated, very cool too. And it's nice and meaty, so there's a lot to like. Outward vision is better than I expected, despite the fact that there's such a heavy angle on the front windshield. But the back seats are a little bit tight, so it has less room than the Grand Cherokee, and for some of you, you may not like the location of some of the HVAC controls. Other than that, man, this is a great place to hang out.
Nathan, I think we should talk about kind of the spectrum of off-road vehicles and where this falls on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So for me, the top end is, of course, a Wrangler, an FJ, a 4Runner, vehicles that are specifically built, Land Cruiser, to take on hard off-road terrain. And just a step below that, I would put the Trailhawk version of this, with cars like the Range Rover, and of course the Range Rover and LR4 probably are at that top echelon, but with the tires they put on them, it takes them down a notch.
It certainly does. The tires always affect the vehicle. In that case, they're meant to be, you know, on-road vehicles for the most part.
And then below that are cars like the Subarus, and the reason that this is better, I think, than the Subaru is, number one, it's got the undercoat protection, it's got cladding.
Yep, it's got
the tow hooks.
Locking rear diff. mud, rocks. It's got hill descent control, locking rear diff.
And
it's got
key,
everything right there.
The
Yes,
locking
yes,
rear
yes,
diff,
yes.
which if you're wondering, Subarus don't have.
No, they don't.
So yeah, and then below the Subarus, I think you got cars like RAV4, Sportage. You know, the basically the crossovers that are off-road, quote unquote, unworthy.
Yeah. A lot of crossovers that we've already taken off-road, and we've shown that, you know, clearance and good traction has something to do with, you know, being able to handle off-road areas. And this has all that. It has all the basic elements necessary to be a decent off-roader.
You know, Jeep is getting really cute nowadays, and that's probably to do with the fact that they're trying to expand their market. And one of the ways they're getting cute is they're putting these little Easter eggs in their vehicles. This one has a little Jeep CJ crawling up what looks like a small mound, but let's face it, Easter eggs like this don't make a Jeep a Jeep. Nathan's got some ideas about that.
Yes, I do. I'll tell you what they are. Sledgehammer, body damage, just whack, whack, whack in a few spots and make it look like it's really been on the trail. That would look cool.
So shall we take this off-road, Nathan?
Hell yeah!
And
Put
take
it in the snow, baby!
All right, hopefully we won't give it a real Easter egg. Yeah, so how does it drive?
It's stiff-legged compared to the other version we drove because of the suspension that's in here is built for off-road, and the tires, they're much taller, but they're also very, very firm. So on the streets, this does bounce a little bit, whereas in the regular version we tested, it was nice and smooth. And off-road, it's exactly the opposite. It's soaking up the bumps beautifully, and so far, off-camera stuff, piece of cake.
Yeah, guys, if you really want a Cherokee and you're going to take it to pick up your kids, you're going to take it to the shopping lot, mall, then probably you don't want the Trailhawk. I mean, you will pay a price for these off-road tires and this off-road suspension, and that price is a much
higher.
Much harder driving car. The Trailhawk is, in fact, trail rated, and that does mean something. It means it's got enough height, it's got enough ground clearance, it's got enough protection, underbody protection, to actually do the Rubicon Trail. And I did talk to Mike Manley, the CEO of Jeep, and he said that this particular vehicle is actually better on the Rubicon Trail than the Patriot and some of the other Jeeps. Surprising, but true.
Yeah, and at the same time, with the option package it has, you're paying up to $38,000 for this, and that's a lot of money for this type of vehicle.
That's a lot of money. I mean, at that point, you're getting into some very serious off-road vehicles, and I think Jeep has made the financial calculation that people are willing to pay for the brand and pay for that, you know, 7-slot grill, and so they will pay that much to have something that probably will never go off-road. Hey Nathan, this is a really good spot to test the off-road. Why don't we get Tommy out there and get him shooting us actually going up this little hill?
Hell yeah!
All right, Nathan, so we have snow, we have rocks, we have wind.
So I put it on the I'm putting it on the 4-wheel drive low.
Yep.
And I'm gonna lock up the rear end. It's overkill.
Yep.
And yeah, let's see what happens.
All right, let's see how it does. There's a little bit of snow, and when you put snow on these rocks, it does get slippery, but these tires seem to have a lot of off-road capability. So far, so good. Now this has been up the Rubicon Trail, so this should be a piece of cake for this Jeep, I'm guessing.
No problem.
No problem at all, yeah.
Yeah, it's surprisingly confident. It's weird because the seating position in this thing is a little unusual. So, you know, because you got the raked windshield, but you're sitting higher.
Yeah.
You know, it's an unusual feeling. But it's secure, and with the snow and the rocks, that makes this a much more challenging off-road area.
All right, here's a little steeper bit. A little bit more challenging. This is a Jeep, so we're not afraid. We know that this car is built to take on much worse terrain than this, Nathan.
Yeah.
You seem to be pretty mellow.
Yeah, the rear end's locked, and it's locked. I can feel it, just not even having a problem clawing into the dirt. These tires are excellent too, by the way. I haven't slipped once.
Yeah, here comes some snow. All right.
No problem.
Yeah, this is easy peasy.
Yeah, folks, we know that this isn't extreme off-road.
We know this isn't completely
yeah.
crazy.
The hard part about this, though, is off-roading with snow, it's a whole different set of circumstances you have to calculate because there's a lot more slippage. Sometimes you don't know how deep a rut is. Snow is a really interesting thing to go off-roading on, and you know what? The more confident you are in a vehicle like this, the better.
Yeah, and I feel very confident in this.
Yeah, it's just not even having a problem.
No. The only place to review a car from on such a cold and windy day. Yes, I'm in the back seat, and I have to be honest, it's a little tight back here. If you're looking for a family vehicle, you're probably better off with the Grand Cherokee. So let's find out. Let's find out. Come on. Open, says me. Let's find out what the man has to say. How is it back here, Nathan?
Well, I fit, but you know, the roof is really low back here, so the amount of stuff you can get in the back is nowhere near as good as you can get in the back of the Grand Cherokee, that's for sure. And I have another problem. See these little cutesy things? This is so you can hang stuff on here and move them around. It's really cool, but it's got the Jeep front on it. And you know what? It's almost too much. Jeep, stop it. Enough with the cutesy stuff. Real men want to drive this, and they don't want cutesy little Jeep things everywhere.
And Nathan, we do have to talk about styling.
Yeah,
I know. You know, this car had an unfortunate coming out.
Yeah.
The pictures were released early of it. They weren't very flattering. It was sitting, looked like in the factory. And then they had to kind of hurry up and rush the actual reveal of it.
They didn't get a chance to tease it and to kind of bring it out slowly and get people used to the idea. And the other thing is, and I've maintained this to this day, it's an unfortunate vehicle in terms of name. They should have never named it Cherokee. It should have been called the Weasel.
That's right. The Mountain Weasel.
Yeah, just Weasel. Pauly Shore has like a, you know, injunction against me calling it the Weasel now, but it really is something other than a Cherokee. And you know what? If you got rid of the name, it would remove so much of that stigma because frankly, this is a fantastic vehicle off-road.
Nathan, on the TFL scale of buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a buy it. I know it's expensive, but I think it's fantastic off-road. It really is. Quality vehicle, and I like driving it around town. I think it's a great family car, too.
You know, I'm going to have to give it a lease, and I'll tell you why. First of all, for $38,000, I get the Wrangler Unlimited.
Yeah, okay.
It is more capable off-road, and it is a true Jeep. I mean, this is a Jeep, too, but that is a Jeep, a man's Jeep. Plus, they've had some issues with this 9-speed. I'm not sure it's completely sorted. Nicole had this. She had some issues with the little proximity sensors. So I say wait a year, lease it, and then once they get all the issues worked out, then buy it. As always,
this is Nathan
and Roman saying thanks for watching and
subscribe for a new video every single day.